A quarterback that went 29 for 40 with 281 yards passing must have had a great day, right? Not so simple. You got to look a little beyond the numbers here. Let's talk about Daniel Jones here against the Dallas Cowboys here, because this is one of those games that you look at it on paper and you go, well, Daniel Jones looked pretty good. Daniel Jones looked pretty solid here. But there's definitely issues. And I feel like he's being bailed out at least somewhat here by the combo of Malik Nabers and Wandale Robinson. So for the season here, he's had a huge issue with throwing the ball deep. I don't know what it is. This guy, when he first came out of Duke there, that rookie year, was known for throwing the deep ball. And I don't mean that as if he was like one of the greatest deep ball throwers ever, nothing crazy, but that was his bread and butter. That's what he was best at. That's why him and Slayton had that great, rapport right off the bat there, because he was good at throwing the ball deep for whatever reason. Now he can't do it. Passes over 20 air yards this season. Jones is 2 of 13, 67 yards and 1 interception. The interception was last night, actually, against the Cowboys. Now, I'm not going to count the interception against him. That'd be utterly ridiculous. He was just throwing it up and hoping something special happened. You can't blame him on that one there. You can't blame him on some of the drops that happened as well. It's not all on him, guys. He didn't have a bad game, but I can't sit there and say he had a good game. The guy was off on throws. He was underthrowing deep throws at that point. He wasn't leading the receiver, the typical things he's been doing all year. I think what's been going on is we've gotten to a mentality where you see how bad he was week one. And let's be honest, he was horrendous. Like, we called point blank for him to get benched. I still think for the long-term health of this team, he should be benched so we can see what Tommy DeVito is the rest of the season. But what it boils down to is he's gotten better. He has gotten better. Like, I don't want to sit here and just ridiculously bash Daniel Jones and not act like that. But the problem is, it looks like what's happened is because of the way he plays and the issues he's had with the deep throws, Brian Daboll simplified this offense, guys. Let's be very frank about that. He has simplified this offense. And a lot of it has been go to Malik Nabers, go to Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, both kind of out of the mix there because they're deep guys. Those are the guys that run down the field and get these big catches, which Daniel Jones can't throw. Last night, 23 of his 29 completions were to either Malik Nabers or Wandale Robinson. 186 of his 281 yards were to those two. That's an issue, guys. You don't think defenses are going to figure this out pretty quickly? And don't get me wrong, Wandale Robinson is a really good receiver. He works almost like a running back in the fact that you could throw him a very short pass. He'll get a couple yak yards. He'll get you 6, 7, 8, 9 yards there on a very short pass. Malik Nabers, potentially top 5 receiver in this league the way he's playing right now. I don't want to declare that flat out right now because it's way too early, but he's got that potential where he's developing into being that kind of player in this league here. So both those guys are hard to cover. But if you can't run the ball, and that part, obviously, again, not DJ's fault, but if you can't run the ball and you're only throwing to 2 guys, it's not going to be difficult to stop. So something's got to get figured out with this offense, guys, because we're not putting up enough points. We're actually scoring less points this year so far we did last year. And last year's offense was atrocious. So what does that say about this year? We're putting up some yards now. We're not getting points. That's what matters, guys. I'd rather put up less yards than put up more points. But the issue is we have a quarterback that's stifling this offense point blank. And listen, I have a lot of respect for Daniel Jones. He's put blood, sweat, and I'm sure probably some tears into this organization. He is the guy that you want to have as a quarterback personality-wise. He's the first guy in the building. He's the last one to leave. He puts all the work in. He puts everything bad that happens to this team on himself. We've said it before in the show, like, if Rob and I had daughters, this would be the guy you want her to bring home. Like, he is that kind of guy. But what it also boils down to it is, just because he's a great guy doesn't mean you want him in charge of your franchise. And that's basically what a quarterback is. You're the head of the franchise. You're supposed to be the top performer, the big guy here at that point. And we're paying him such. And he's not doing that. If you can't throw down the field deep, you're taking a big part of NFL offenses away from this team. And at this point here, like I said, it's stifling this offense and the development of players in this offense. Malik Nabers, only a couple of games into his career. Theo Johnson, same thing. Look at a guy like Wandale Robinson, who, because of injuries, while he's played already a couple of years in this league, he's really only played like one season. So he's still developing as well and still learning. And listen, he's learning really quickly. He's doing pretty good, I think, there. We've said on the show multiple times, he could be a 100 catch kind of guy there at that point. But, you look at what he's done on his career. He's played, going into the season, only 21 games in 2 seasons. So he's 25 games. So he's like midway through his second season, basically, game-wise, guys. You can't have a guy who can't lead receivers, hit him in the right spots, throw the ball deep, be the guy that's throwing it to them. And I think the biggest thing is anyone think Daniel Jones is going to be here next year? Put it in the comments if you think of that, because I'm telling you, every time we put up a video about Daniel Jones, we get beat up a little bit by some people in the comments, because I get it. There are people who love Daniel Jones, and really it's more of a desire they have for him to succeed. And I get it. We had that same desire for him to succeed. He's a Giant. We root for every single Giant. But guys, it's been enough years. He's not the guy. We put up field goal after field goal after field goal yesterday because we couldn't get it in the end zone. You look at Dak Prescott's numbers yesterday, and you can sit there and say that Daniel Jones had a better game. But I would say he didn't, because in the end, Dak Prescott got in the end zone twice. You have to get in the end zone. That's the name of this game here, guys. And Daniel Jones has improved a lot over week one, guys. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to sit here and just mindlessly bash this guy as if he's done nothing positive. He has been tenfold better than week one. But that's only also partially because the bar was set so low because of how bad he was week one, guys. And you could even make the claim he's gotten better week after week, which I know is going to sound crazy to sit there and say that when I'm saying we should move on. But do you guys really see him progressing into being a franchise quarterback at this point? Because if he's not going to, why not give a guy a shot that may very well become a franchise? I should say, may very well become at least a decent backup in this league, because that's probably where DeVito is going to be. Because long term, I'd rather have a guy develop like him and see what he's got. I know what Jones has got. It's not good enough. It's not enough, as much as I want it to be, as much as all Giant fans want it to be, as much as Daniel Jones wants it to be, guys. It's not good enough. It's time to move on. It's time to recognize that he's slowing this offense down. They are not doing the full playbook basically because of him. And I know I've gotten bashed a couple of times for saying that. It's the truth, guys. I dare someone who is a Daniel Jones fan, and maybe I shouldn't say fan, because we're all fans of, we all want him to succeed. I know it sounds weird when I'm talking like this way about him. We want him to succeed. But somebody who thinks Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback, let me use that verbiage instead. I dare you to go back and watch every deep throw he's attempted to make this year. I want you to see that. I want you to watch them. And I want you to see how off he is on throws. How he's doing short, he's throwing deep, he's throwing off to the side. He's not hitting the target very often. It's an issue. You can sit there and watch some of the short passes he didn't even see because he doesn't hit them in stride. They're running towards they're right there at that point. I realize it's your left, by the way. It's my right because it's Merrick. You're already to the right at that point. I have to go shift back to the left because the ball's thrown behind him at that point. This is a normal occurrence on Daniel Jones's passes, guys. It's time. It's time. I appreciate everything Daniel Jones has given this team. I really do. It's just time.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.